So in this episode, we're going to actually talk about what the tuning forks are. So you're going to get a chance to meet them. Tuning forks, basically, they're metallic instruments. So they, in essence, are a delivery system of sound, of a vibration, and a delivery system of a pure sine wave, S-I-N-E wave. They are usually made of aluminium, or in some cases, they're made of steel. My tuning forks are made of aluminium, and their consistency of frequency is plus or minus 0.25%, and usually that's really about temperature. And the length of the tuning forks deciphers the actual frequency and the tone of which it delivers its sound. Tuning forks actually also come with weights, so there's little weights on the end. And what they do is you have less of an auditory sound wave, so you can't hear it so well, but it offers a greater physical experience if you put what I call the ball end on the body. So almost like that's a bit of a sound massage. So you can use that on the body, you can use it on trees and in nature, and you can also use it in the bath. So you actually have a sound bath. And because you have the water in the bath and you're stemming, and I'll show you how to stem, the ball end on the side of the bath, you are then actually in flow with the rhythm of your own water, and you're bathing in the frequency of the sound as well. So what we use the tuning forks for, the optimum uses, is to still the mind. Because if we know that we can still the mind, and meditation has a plethora of evidence to show that a quiet, peaceful mind improves health. I don't need to sit here and prove that to anybody. If we can silence the mind, optimum health and well-being does occur. And many, many, many studies have done that. So just by listening to the tuning forks, you are starting to allow your brainwaves to go from beta, which is 40 to 14 hertz, and a hertz is a cycles per second. Then alpha brainwave is 13 to 8. A theta brainwave is 7 to 4. And then delta is just under 4. And obviously 0 would be death. However, they do say that the brain is still slightly active even in death, which is astounding. So what we want to achieve in any relaxation or meditation for optimum health and well-being is we want to be getting around alpha theta. And how we do that with the tuning forks is we just listen. And the first tuning fork we use is the Om. Now, the Om is a universal sound. And you can pitch the Om any particular vibration literally through your voice. And that in itself is very, very healing. So we have the Om tuning fork, which the frequency, if you're interested in that, is 136.10 hertz. And what that will do is by listening, it's quite a low tone, and by listening to that very, very, very softly, your brain will the brain waves will start to reduce. So from your busy thinking mind, you suddenly start to still. And it doesn't matter if you're what I call borrowing the benefits. If you're doing it yourself or you're borrowing the benefits, it will still. And I've been in a room with 100 people and struck the tuning fork, and there was just a sense of stillness in the whole marquee. It was incredible. I can be doing my tuning in the morning or in the evening, and my dogs are there, or if I'm with people, if I'm there with people, everything is still. There's just a sense of connection, just a sense that everybody is resonating at the same heartbeat. So tuning forks are also used in modern medicine. So they're not actually used as a meditation aid or a delivery system of a sound as I use and share and teach. They're used in hearing tests. So some people may be familiar with the use of a tuning fork, and they use it in a hearing test. So they put it sort of behind the ear to see if people can hear the vibration and at what level. Tuning forks are also used to detect broken bones as well in medicine. So there's a certain frequency they can hear or vibrational record if the bone is broken or not broken. And the other thing people may understand, if people are diabetic, the nurse or the health professional may well use a tuning fork to test the feelings on the tips of the toes. It checks for something called neuropathy, which is where diabetes causes numbness to the extreme digits. So those are the aspects that we actually are already using it in medicine. So I've just taken it one step further to work with it in what I would call holistic medicine, in that we're working with it on a complementary level. So we're working with our minds by listening, and then we're going to be working with our bodies. So as I mentioned before, I decided to keep this very, very simple. I like simple, and people like simple. And when I first did the research, there were so many tuning forks out there. There was a tuning fork for so many different things, and I couldn't figure out what I needed to use it for. So what I did was I brought it all back to what I would call a foundation set of tuning forks, a simple practice of working with 3 tuning forks, which is the Om, the weighted Om, and a frequency called the 528. So the number 528 hertz. I've already explained about the Om. The Om is the sound of creation. It brings a stillness. I call it the still point. It allows us to become really connected to our inner self, our wise, our wisdom, our self within. And then the weighted Om has the weights on the end. It's the same frequency as the unweighted Om. And what it does is it gives an experience of like a massage. So you strike the weights, and then you can place the ball end on any part of the body that may be a little bit in disharmony. And then third, but by no means last, we have the 528 tuning fork, which actually is one of the solfeggio frequencies. And solfeggio or solfeggio means is scale. And the original set of those is a set of 9, whereas we just work with 1, which is the 528 frequency. And that represents miracles and transformations and universal love. So just using the 3, the Om, the weighted Om, and the 528, what we have is universal love capitalizing on the sound of creation. And what that does is it marries the worlds of the external universal sound and influence to the inner world sound and influence. And like attracts like. So what you have is this beautiful flow of sound magnetism. Your mind is still. Your body is still. And when we are still, we can think so expansively from a place of love and from the heart space.